I don't usually dog sit. I like animals, sure, but I've never been the type to seek out pet sitting gigs or anything like that. This was more of a favour. One of those situations where you say yes before fully realising what you're agreeing to. It was late last October when my neighbour Ellen knocked on my door. She's in her late 60s, maybe early 70s, super kind and keeps to herself. She has this little Cavalier Spaniel named Toby. Sweet dog, always wagging his tail when you walk by their fence. Ellen was going out of town unexpectedly. Something about her sister being in hospital, I think. She looked flustered, stressed, and I said yes before she could even finish asking. Her instructions were simple. Feed Toby in the morning and evening, make sure he had fresh water, and let him out in the backyard for a while each day. She left a key to her back door, and that was that. It started off easy. I'd get home from work around 5, walk over, let Toby out, toss a ball around while he did his thing. The sun would usually be dipping below the horizon by then, long orange streaks across the sky, the air starting to get that sharp, late autumn bite. But the second night, something changed. I remember I was standing in the backyard, just scrolling through my phone while Toby sniffed around the bushes near the fence. That's when I felt it, that feeling. You know the one. Like someone's watching you. It was sudden, so sudden it made my scalp tingle. I looked up, slowly, and scanned the yard. Nothing. Ellen's backyard backs up to a tree line. Not woods really, just a narrow strip of trees separating her property from the houses on the next street over. There's a rusted chain link fence running along the tree line, half covered in ivy. It was quiet. No birds, no wind, just stillness. I told myself I was being paranoid. Let Toby finish his business, gave him a treat, locked up, and headed home. But I couldn't shake it. That feeling. That night, I kept glancing out my own kitchen window towards Ellen's house. I couldn't even see her yard from my place, but I just had this gnawing unease, like I'd left something undone, or like I'd been seen. By the third day, I started noticing little things. The gate to the backyard was open when I arrived. I never leave gates open, especially not with a dog around. Then, later that same night, I went back to double check the door was locked, just one of those paranoid habits. As I stepped up onto the porch, I swear I heard movement, like quick footsteps on dry leaves just beyond the fence line. Again I looked, again nothing. But it wasn't just the sound, it was that same pressure, that same sensation crawling up my neck like invisible fingers. The fourth night was when it really escalated. I'd stayed a bit later at Ellen's place because Toby seemed restless, whining a bit, pacing near the back door. It was fully dark outside when I finally let him into the yard. I turned on the porch light and stood there, arms crossed, watching him sniff around like usual. And then he stopped. Stood completely still, ears perked, staring towards the fence. I followed his gaze and I swear to you, there was a figure standing in the tree line. No flashlight, no movement, just standing. It was hard to make out the details, but I could see the outline. Tall, lean, definitely a man. He didn't move when I spotted him, just stood there like he wanted to be seen, like he wanted to watch me realise he was there. I called Toby, my voice cracked. I tried to keep it steady, but I was full on panicking. He bolted back towards the house, thank God. I slammed the door shut and locked it, then ran around turning off lights and double checking the front door. I stayed in that house for almost an hour, crouched near the window, heart pounding, phone in my hand. But I didn't call the cops. I don't know why, maybe part of me still thought I was imagining it. Eventually, I dashed across the lawn back to my place, locked everything, barely slept. The next day I went over earlier, broad daylight, and noticed something by the back fence. Wedged between two posts was a small pile of stones, stacked deliberately, 5 of them, balanced carefully, like a little cairn. That night, I called a friend of mine, Tyler, asked him to come by while I let Toby out. He's not the bravest guy I know, but I didn't want to be alone. We were out back for maybe 10 minutes, chatting awkwardly while Toby did his thing. Then Tyler stopped mid-sentence and said, "Did you see that?" I turned, heart lurching. "See what?" "There was something standing, right over there." He pointed to the same spot. I didn't even look this time. I grabbed Toby and dragged him inside. This time I did call the cops. They came, took a look around, didn't find anyone, didn't find footprints, but they did take down a report and promised to patrol the area more frequently for a few nights. I felt a little bit better after that, but only a little. The last night of Ellen's trip was when I realised the man hadn't just been watching from the woods. I walked in through the back door like usual, greeted Toby, but something felt wrong. The air in the kitchen was cold, stale, like a window had been left open. I checked, all windows locked. I fed Toby, tried to shake it off, but the feeling only got worse. He refused to go outside that night, stood at the door, ears back, tail tucked. That's when I noticed the smell. It was faint, but definitely there, a mix of sweat and something sour. My skin crawled. I checked the house, every room, every closet, and then I found it. In the guest bedroom, the one that Ellen never used, the one I hadn't gone into all week, there were muddy boot prints on the carpet, just a few leading from the window to the corner of the room. But the window was locked from the inside. That broke me. I grabbed Toby, drove him to my place, locked every door and window and didn't sleep a minute that night. When Ellen came back the next day, I told her everything, or most of it. Left out the footprints. I didn't want her to panic. She was disturbed, obviously, grateful, apologetic, promised to install motion lights and cameras. A few weeks later, I saw her in passing. She told me something that made my blood run cold. She said she found something behind her shed, something she hadn't noticed before. Another pile of stones. This time, there were 7, stacked perfectly, balanced just right, like someone had been counting. Fortunately, nothing else happened after that. It was 6 months ago now. I just hope that man was caught, or got the help that he needs.